Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam shehakol nibid b'dvarim. Chaim, everybody. Chaim l'bracha. Blessings, life and blessings. L'chaim. I'm going to share a sicha of the Rebbe to explain a unique day in the calendar, Zayin Cheshvan, which that unique day is tomorrow. So we can prep for that unique day, or at least be aware of its uniqueness as it dawns upon us. Mishnah tells us about Zayin Cheshvan, the seventh of Cheshvan, today being the sixth of Cheshvan. What's the uniqueness of that day? It's the day that everybody in the times of the Holy Temple, they made Aliyah L'Regel, they made Aliyah, meaning they came up to Jerusalem for the holiday, right? Three holidays, three basic holidays that you are Eila L'Regel, that you go up to Jerusalem. Aliyah means to go up, ascend. Pesach, Passover, Shavuos, and Sukkot. And on the 15th, 15 days after, which falls out on the 7th of Cheshvan, everybody made it back home, right? And, they walked. So all the way to the Euphrates and even beyond, they made it home. And therefore, at that time, they started to ask in their prayers for rain. Now we're in winter mode, and when in our prayers, right, in the Amida, in the blue siddur, right, in the blue siddur, in the Amida, the silent prayer. So we're already in winter mode. In the second blessing, we say he causes the wind and the blow to blow and to rain to fall, right? But if we go to page 48, and bless us, Lord our God, this year and all of the varieties of the produce for good. So we're not in the winter mode here in outside of Israel. We're still summer mode, just saying blessing. And dew and rain, we only start asking for on the 5th of December. And if it was a civil leap year, so then it'd be on the 6th of December. But in Israel, they start asking for rain 15 days later, on the 7th of Cheshvan. Tomorrow, today's the 6th of the month of Cheshvan. On the 7th of Cheshvan, they start asking for rain. Why? Because everybody's home, safe and sound. If they would ask for rain while they're traveling, so it'd be very difficult traveling. Again, they went all the way to the Euphrates. So it was a 15-day travel by foot after the holiday finishes. And then they would ask for rain, right? For the rainy season. So, everything needs to grow, will grow. Again, here we don't do that. Here we wait until December, right? But in Israel, they do it then. And the truth is, they still do it in Israel, even though we don't have the Holy Temple. They're not returning from the Holy Temple. But this is the halacha on that tomorrow they will start asking for rain. When I was in Israel at this time 5 years ago, I had to do what they do in Israel, ask for rain. When I came back to Montreal, I had to switch back because it was still only November, it wasn't December yet, where we start asking for rain. Now, in the asking, the fact that we ask for rain, so it means that the festival is over, right? We're home. The festival is officially over, meaning to say that when we say that the festival is over, it is saying that till that point, we kind of were in festival mode, even though you left Jerusalem, but you're still in festival mode until you finally came back, each person under their own vineyard, their own date tree, as the expression goes. And that's the 7th of Cheshvan. Okay. As I said, we still in Israel. Tomorrow they will start asking for rain for their, for their rainy season. There's been times that there's been droughts in Israel. In any case, there is a principle that whatever special occasion. So the 7th of Cheshvan is, it's a special occasion. That any special occasion will be reflected in the Torah portion of the week. So the Torah portion is Lech Lecha, right? Where God says to Abraham to leave Mesopotamia, leave the Euphrates, and go to Israel. So the obvious question is, well, how do you see a connection between the two? They seem to be polar opposites. Here, the 7th of Cheshvan is marking when you left Jerusalem, you left the holy city, and now you're back to your home, right? That's what it's marking. And everybody's safe at home. Now you can ask for rain. Our prayers will ask for rain. But Lech Lecha is the opposite. God tells Abraham, leave from beyond the Euphrates, right? And go to Jerusalem, go to Israel, go to the land of Canaan, where God tells him it's going to become your land. So it seems to bring across the polar opposite. And that's the ideal that we're going to discuss over here in the Rebbe Sicha is how the occasion, the special occasion, and we can ask more over there, but doesn't really ask this question, but I'll ask it. Like, what makes this occasion so special? The Rebbe says we got to find it. I mean, it is an occasion, but it's what's so special about it? I mean, so the Rebbe says like this. The essential idea of that you go to the Holy Temple is amazing. But there's something virtuous, greater about when you go back home. And that is that now you're dealing with the material world. In Jerusalem, your holiday mode, you're on a spiritual high. Wonderful. But now you're going back home and you're actually fulfilling the purpose of what creation is about. to make a dira b'tachtonim, to make a dwelling place for God in this low world. Not on top of the mountain, but back home, even, far away from Jerusalem and the holiness of the festival and the holiness of the holy temple, dealing with materiality. But through that, you're making a home for God. And that's, the general principle of why our soul came into a body. Your soul is perfectly bound up with God. What does it need to come down here? Oh, because being in a body, and now it can deal with materiality of this world. And that's the purpose. And that's what Lech Lecha is. Lech Lecha is this aliyah, this ascending, right? To go. Go for yourself. Go. Go and, make a home for God. So the Rebbe says that's good, but it's not sufficient. It brings out the content of Lech Lecha, but on a literal level, in the end, Lech Lecha meant going to Israel, and the 7th of Cheshvan is marking leaving Israel, leaving the Holy Land, or leaving the holiness of the Holy Temple. Okay. So we'll understand it by understanding a distinction between someone who is a hired worker to an agent or an emissary, shliach in Hebrew. What's the difference? A hired worker usually will be working there at close hand with the person who hired him, right? The balabas, be it the homeowner or the owner of the business, if you will. It's a metaphor, right? And primarily is working for themselves. That's what they're doing. They're working for themselves. They're doing a job that, the person that hired him needs. And the person primarily is, going to do the job appropriately, but working for themselves. An agent, an emissary, is, first of all, not necessarily, generally speaking, would not be close proximity to the one who sent him on the agency, the one who he's representing, right? That's why he has an agent, because then he's going somewhere further away. Furthermore, the agent, though, is really the expression of the representative, means exactly that. You're representing who sent you. So not about you. It's about who you're representing. Right? So the worker is all about you, right? Yes, you got to do the job for the person who hired you, but the hired hand is doing it for themselves. The concept of an emissary means you're an emissary, an agent of someone, representing someone. That's the idea, right? Talking about it's a metaphor over here to bring out. So we're talking about the concept. Now, of course, an emissary could do it totally for themselves. After all, maybe they're getting paid. But that's not what the term represents. That's not what the term means, right? So with this, then, we could say, says the Rebbe, listen to this, amazing. What happens when you are at the Holy Temple? Imagine a Holy Temple. There are 10 miracles going on. God's presence is there. Yeah, the Kohanim are doing their service, the priests, the Levites, theirs, the Israelites, and it's like, wow. You're taking it in. It's all about you. It's all about you. Yes, it's an amazing you here, because all about you could be just, um, could be meaningless things, non-spiritual, egotistical things. But here it's all about you on a spiritual level, but it's still all about you taking in this spiritual, high of a festival of Jerusalem, the Holy Temple, and you're taking it all in. And rightfully so. It's not inappropriate. That's what you should be doing, right? That's what you should be doing. Right? So that's more like the hired worker, right? Working for themselves. Well, this is for you, as opposed to the one who is the shliach, the emissary, representing, right? That is much loftier, right? In the sense that it's not about you, right? It's about you've been commanded by God Almighty to fulfill Torah mitzvahs in general, to make a dwelling place for God, and you are therefore engaged in a material world as what? As an agent of God, representing God, an emissary of God. And an emissary of God, there's three dimensions to it. There's the dimension of, when you represent someone, you're an agent. When you are an emissary, right? So it could be your act. What you do, it's as if that person did it. It could be that your hand in doing is like the hand of the one who sent you that's doing it. And on the highest level, it could be that you are like the person you're representing. In other words, in this instance, going and engaging in a material world, you are the divine. You're a piece of God. There's no you there. That's the highest level of agency, as in you're in the stead of the one who's sending you, right? With this, and we can connect it to Lech Lecha. Lech Lecha means a movement that is beyond the human condition. The human condition is, I do something for myself, right? That's a hired worker. Every person who's employed is working for themselves. Yes, they get paid by this, but they're doing it for themselves. An agent is doing it for the one who sent them on the agency. The representative is doing for the one that, the shliach, the emissary, is doing it as a emissary of. That's what it means, an emissary. Right? Lech lecha means beyond the human condition. Leave, go out. Right? When you're going to Jerusalem, when you're going to the festival, celebrating, that's the you. The real you is the celebration of Jewish life. The real you is a celebration of godliness. That's the real you. That's your condition. That's your human condition, though. Right? Lech lecha, what God is saying to Avram, to Abraham, go. Go above and beyond the human condition, right? Make it, Torah mitzvahs, make a dwelling place for God. And therefore, the seventh of Cheshvan very much connects right? When we go back home, right? There's no go back home after the holidays. I mean, I could sense it here for myself. A whole month of holidays. It's like you're in a cocoon and you're feeling connected. That's the real you. Now you got to get beyond you. That's lechacha. Lechacha means go. Go beyond yourself. Go beyond yourself. Go beyond your condition. Your condition is to be so connected to the divine. See divine, the divinity in in life. That's your reality, right? Now we have to get beyond that. That's lechacha. So it fits in so perfectly. And we see that only at Lech Lecha does God say, after he left, before that, he was involved and engaged in um, bringing godliness to the world. But only once God told him to leave, then God spoke to him. Then um, he called out in the name of God. He wasn't calling out in his name anymore. Very powerful. More on this to come. All right. Thank you, folks.